For me, I think the last couple of years have been more of like paralyzed by, am I good enough to do this? Am I like, this is what I'm passionate about, but can I also get paid to do this? So I went to school for graphic design at a local community college. So I live in Aspen, Colorado, which is a very small town. It's really hard to do graphic design.
The beauty of like living in this age of the internet is you could work virtually from anywhere, right? Like there's definitely a lot of remote jobs that you can have, or remote clients. So I don't think that necessarily dictates, or your location dictates the amount of work you can get, or let that limit you, because I know plenty of people who work remote and are successful. So I feel like you can like maybe let that be subside for you mentally, because the more you can like let go of certain roadblocks, the more you can start opening your mind and your life up to opportunity. Right?
A lot of my background's in print, which I feel like print is, it's not that it's irrelevant, but I just don't know if that's where I should be, or like what I'm passionate about. Like I've done a lot of like little logos and things and branding, but I find that can be more of a stressful experience. Not sure if like branding's what I should be doing. So I guess that's also like, what is my niche within the creative industry? Because graphic design in itself incorporates like 1,000 different directions.
As far as you talking about like not knowing which aspect you want to do, because in your message you were like talking about print and doing graphic design, but you're kind of interested in digital UI UX. On your site though is logos and photography, so I can tell you're very creative. You like to do a lot of different things, and I understand that as well. Like I wanted to do fashion design, a hairstyling, video, entertainment, like voiceover work. I've done so much. There has been a time where I've had to like, I need to hanker down and just like figure out what is one thing that I need to focus my attention on and get good at. And it doesn't mean I have to let go of other things. Like look at me now, like I do video content. I'm able to bring some of that stuff back into my life, but not after I've spent enough time creating an expertise for myself, so I can call myself something and be able to sell myself in that way. Because it's hard to sell yourself being 6 different things, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Because you want to have a clear message, who you are, what you do, why you want to do it, and how you're going to do it. And I think that when I was on your current portfolio, I could see that you are doing a bunch of different things, but I wouldn't at this time be comfortable hiring you for any particular thing, because I wouldn't know what you really want to do, or what you're really good at yet. So I always say like you want to make sure your portfolio is very clear in your messaging and in your own branding, especially when you're telling someone else, hey, I'm going to do your branding. Well, you have to be clear in your own before someone respects you to do theirs. So
you think that you don't think being able to do lots of different things is a strength?
I do think it's a strength, 100%. It's how you market yourself and how and what you're really trying to do with it, because right now you're not clear in your goals, and so therefore it's hard to like be clear on your any sort of marketing materials because you're unclear, so someone is not going to feel clear as well. When I go on your website, I need to know, like, are you looking to attract new clients, like someone who to go on your site and say, wow, this looks really good, I want you to do print materials for me? Or are you looking for a hiring manager in a UX agency to hire you? Like, who are you trying to target in your website? Because right now you're trying to target to everyone, and I don't know if you know the saying, like when you market to everyone, you market to nobody.
Yeah.
So in that way, I think that people have to figure out, especially when they're in the early stages of their career, where they want to go. When you start like growing into your skill sets and you're like in a company and they're like, or you're in a startup or even working remote and they're like, oh, you're really great with UI, and you're like, oh, and they're like, we need photography, like, oh, I got you on that too, or oh, I can do branding for us too, and like, oh wow, that's really cool. And you can start like building up on those skills, and they can all come together depending on where you're working and who you're working with.
So I have these two like very opposite like career paths. And real estate, you can make money here for sure, and those are higher paying jobs. But my passion is over here. For me, I think the last couple of years have been more of like paralyzed by, am I good enough to do this? Am I like, this is what I'm passionate about, but can I also get paid to do this?
But you won't know unless you keep doing it every day or keep practicing it regularly. Put your stuff out and be willing to get feedback, to learn from it and get better, because no one's great like straight. I mean, there's certain geniuses, right? There's certain people who are naturally gifted, and if you're not naturally gifted, that means you just have to work harder. Like that's the like it doesn't, because people who are naturally gifted, they might not work as hard, but the person who works harder will like match up with that person with natural talent. So as long as you keep practicing and learning and trying and doing and putting it out there and like getting feedback and applying it like all the time, then you're gonna feel more confident and good about, you know, where you wanna be. And then it'll help you make a better decision of where do you wanna go in your life. I know it's hard when you're working full time, I really do. And if you do love something and you wanna be someone who is able to make their passion a reality, you're gonna have to work harder than other people because of that. What I do is I have on the weekends, my 2 days off, I make sure one day every weekend is spent completely on my content. Like I don't plan anything. Even if it's like for 4 hours, like I just make sure one day is dedicated to my goal, to my dream. And so like I would maybe figure out, I know you work full time, but figure out what that is for you. Like 3 nights or 2 nights out of the week for 2 hours, you just spend on your dream. You put it on your calendar. I have in my Google Calendar, I put every single thing, like what my goal is for the week. I'll show you really quick. I put my goals for the month on a piece of paper. So like get 500 subscribers, release 2 blogs, 2 makeover videos, get a collaboration set. I put that. Then for the week, I put what does that look like? What do I need to do this week to get that goal? And then I put it in my calendar. Like I section out different times in my calendar when I'm gonna be doing those things. Just have one goal, just have one thing you're focusing on. When you're working full time, you can't have like 5 goals, right? Like just like get acquainted with XD or Sketch or whatever, get acquainted, have like one goal in mind for the end of the year. Like say, okay, you're gonna put that case study up, but before you put case study up, you're gonna get feedback on that, on your design. You can ask me for feedback, you can ask other people for feedback. You're gonna have to use your online community. It's like the greatest tool we have is to use our online community, to go on Dribble, to be on Behance, put your case studies up, go on Facebook groups, find UX design groups, find graphic design groups, find branding groups, put yourself out there. Hey, I want to get some feedback from people, and post your stuff. And you're gonna have to put yourself out there initially. And I know it's uncomfortable when you're a perfectionist. I feel that same way too, especially right now with my content. I'm like, I feel like I'm a perfectionist and it's hard for me to put stuff out there, but I'm like, fuck it. You know, like what do I have to lose? Like I need to be a maker. I need to be a creative person that just keeps pushing shit out until I get better and better and better. Sometimes I go through this too, like I watch a lot of videos and I'm like, this is really great, this is really great. And then I'm watching it so much that I forget even how to apply it, because it was like a week ago and I'm not even applying it to what I'm doing now, and I kind of forget. It's like you don't want to have like just be a watcher and not a doer too.
Do you know Gary Vee?
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of Gary Vee.
Yeah.
Like, quit watching my content and go do.
Oh, does he? Yeah.
I would be thrilled if you never bought a book, never watched a video. You can't read about doing push-ups. You gotta do them, and then you get the results.
Yeah, maybe like if you have a calendar, you're like, this day I watch like 30 minutes and then 1 hour afterwards I'm doing something. Like figure out how much you're putting in and versus you're putting out.